You know what I hate the most? When I finally put myself first, and someone calls me selfish. I've spent my whole life trying to please the people around me, instead of caring for my own happiness.
Lately, I've seen more and more people becoming detached from everything, from love, relationships, friendships, family, and even life itself. And honestly, I cannot blame them, because nothing you do seems to matter. It does not matter how hard you work, because in the end, you will never own nothing. And it doesn't matter how much you love someone, because in the end, they won't love you back. For example, having a relationship nowadays feels counterproductive. Everyone cheats on each other and fight all the time. In fact, the divorce rates are on an all-time high. Having a romantic relationship has been downgraded so much that everyone just dates each other just for sex and pleasure and not for love, like it's supposed to be. And when love and hard work gets taken away from people, society crumbles away. And like I mentioned before, there is no love in a society that glorifies people cheating on each other and that promotes hard work without rewards. What this means is that there's nothing to live for, because there's nothing to look up to, because in the end, you have no future, you have nothing except yourself. Look, I'm not telling you to close yourself up and hate everyone else and everything, because that will be counterproductive and honestly silly. But what I am gonna tell you is that you need to become more selfish and self-aware of yourself. Don't focus on nothing else but yourself. Forget about love, relationships, and things of that nature. You come first. You need to have progress in your life before you put your attention on something else. It doesn't matter what it is. But to be honest, in order to make progress, you first need to suffer. Remember, progress is about suffering. The more you suffer, the more progress you have. This does not mean that you will be suffering your whole life, but just part of it. And to be 100% honest, how long you suffer is based on you. Because in the end, suffering is just a teacher, and you, its student. Meaning that you have to pay attention to your life, your thoughts, your actions. Otherwise, you will suffer for a very long time. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you're suffering because you're fat, but instead of losing weight and working out, you just stay the same, ignoring your feelings and eating away your feelings. And instead of taking action, you remain the same. This is known as meaningless suffering. Meaningless suffering is when you suffer without a purpose, either because you're afraid of change or afraid of taking action, or simply because you are too weak. For example, let's say that you're fed up with being fat, so you decide to start dieting and working out. This is known as suffering for a purpose, because in the end, you will still suffer, but you will get a reward, meaning that you will be skinny. But in the other hand, you will never stop suffering. You will just eat your feelings away all day, every day, because you're afraid of change or because you're too weak. That's the difference between meaningless suffering and suffering for a purpose. One can help you, the other one will destroy you. The choice is always yours. And to be honest with you, most of the world is going through meaningless suffering, meaning that they're suffering without a purpose. But you can be different. Your pain can either build you or destroy you. The choice is yours. There is a quote that I really like, and it goes like this: the same boiling water that can turn a potato soft can make an egg hard. What this means is that your pain will either make you a stronger or a weaker person. It's all based on your perspective.
You know what? You can't heal if you keep pretending you aren't hurting.
You know, one of my favorite words ever is perspective, because you can change any and all scenarios if you change your perspective. If you are always sad and feel like a victim all the time, then you have the perspective of a victim, which is not gonna help you get anywhere, even if you are the victim. And the truth is that this world is a dark and cold place. You don't have the time and the luxury to feel and act like a victim. But before I continue this video, don't get me wrong, this is not a motivational speech or whatever. I know how you feel. I know your pain, because truth be told, I am currently undergoing the worst time in my life. And yes, I suffer just like you, but still, I won't use that as an excuse to waste time and feel sorry about myself, even though I really want to. In fact, I'm learning how to love my own pain instead of running from it. And this is one of the best things you can do for yourself. I also learned that even though you feel alone, you never are. For example, love it or hate it, you always have two things with you at all times. The first thing is God. I am a religious person, and putting my faith, trust, and worries on God was extremely hard for me because I have extreme trust issues due to circumstances in my life. So that was a very hard thing for me to do, and I'm actually proud of myself for doing that. And the second thing you have is the pain itself. And even though it hurts, it's still there with you at all times, because remember, pain and suffering are teachers. They will leave you when you learn your lesson. And one of those painful lessons is to love your own pain. In fact, at first it was hard, but now it's still hard, but it's more manageable. And actually there's a quote I made for myself, and I honestly love it. I repeat it on my head when I feel like I can't go on. And the quote goes like this: love the pain just as much as you love the person who caused it. I honestly repeat this quote on my head like around 70 times a day at least, and it does help. It really does. So you can use it if you want. I don't really mind. And also, you have to know that one day you will move on and forget about your pain and suffering. But till that day comes, you will remain here, accompanied by your despair, visited by your pain, and loved endlessly by your own hatred. This is a part of being alive. Everybody goes to this. Most people fail, but just a few succeed. This can either make you stronger or weaker. It's all based on your perspective. You have to remember that. You can never forget that. It's like losing a map. You know where the destination leads, but if you don't have your map, then you will always get lost. So always remember that your perspective can either break you or make you. And also, I wanted to make this particular video not for views nor for money, but for all of those people that are currently going through something in their life right now. And to those people, I just want to tell you that I feel your pain, and it's okay. This pain will either make you stronger or it will kill you. The choice in the end will be yours, not mine, not the person who caused that pain, but yours. But you have to remain strong. And the strongest thing you can do right now is to suffer endlessly. The day will come when that pain will fade, and you will be glad that you went through it, because in the end, it made you a better person. But for right now, suffer and love the pain, because in the end, it will be the only thing that will help you move on. And always remember, love the pain just as much as you love the person who caused it. Goodbye, and see you guys around.
You know what I hate the most? When I finally put myself first, and someone calls me selfish. I've spent my whole life trying to please the people around me, instead of caring for my own happiness